Hi there and welcome to the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on For You Television. Our big stories of tonight. Officials of Iran have soonest before an outbreak of another war. Plus, Algeria and Venezuela have 10,000 ghost voters have been uncovered in the electoral register in Kenya in an operation launched by the electoral body ahead of the national elections in a month's time. Africa and Cameroon. We begin with this breaking news coming in from France, where we are told that the French prosecutors this time attacks the Islamic State group killing of 130 people on November 13, 2015. They recommended a life sentence without possibility of parole for the main suspect Salah Abdel Salam and requested standard life sentences. The three prosecutors built secure complex inside Paris, originally 13th century Justice Palace with 12 overflow rooms. Dead but not confirmed.
All worked for the beast you've all
have said they expect their oil cargo confiscated by the United States off the coast of Greece will be returned to them in full following a Greek court decision overturning an original ruling to allow its seizure. Ekome Abane completes that story for us.
Overturning an original ruling to allow its seizure. The case arose in April when Greek authorities impounded the Iranian-flagged liner with 19 Russian crew members on board near the island of Evia because of European Union sanctions. In May, the United States confiscated part of the Iranian oil on board, transferring it to another ship following the initial Greek court ruling. The Greek court's decision to overturn that ruling has not yet been made public, but Greek media reported that the liner was believed to be carrying more than 100,000 tons of Iranian crude oil in breach of US and European Union sanctions on Iran. The confiscation of the cargo has also prompted an angry response from Iran, with Iranian forces last month. President Ibrahim Raisi said that Iran had proven that it will step up to bullies.
Congressional inquiry has held as a hearing opened in the US of A. Trump supporters who stormed Congress on January 6, 2021.
U.S. President Donald Trump is believed to have orchestrated last year's Capitol riot in an attempted coup. This was disclosed after a congressional inquiry hearing where Liz Cheney, the Republican vice chair of the committee, said Trump had lit the flame of this attack, while Benny Thompson, a Democrat, said the riots endangered American democracy. According to reports, Trump supporters stormed the Congress building on January 6, 2021 when lawmakers met to certify Joe Biden's election victory. The Democratic-led U.S. House of Representatives, who have been interviews it conducted with members of Trump's inner circle. The footage was aired with the testimony of former U.S. Attorney General Bill Barr were wrong. The hearing also featured a recording of a testimony by Ivanka Trump, the ex-president's daughter, saying she accepted Mr. Barr's rejection of her father's conspiracy theory. Meantime, members of Congress plan to produce a report and possibly hold another hearing in September to outline their findings and offer suggestions for reforms to the U.S. electoral process.
Now, Lesson has hosted his Venezuelan counterpart Nicolas Maduro in Algiers to reinforce their economic cooperation ties as the Ukraine-Russian crisis deepens. Nota Bianche now comes back to the high points of the discussions.
Algeriously, on fields like oil and gas, Algerian President Abdelmadjid Tebboune hosted his Venezuelan Councilman of Economic Cooperation, a move which comes when Algeria just suspended the Treaty of Friendship and Cooperation concluded in 2002 with Spain, a decision which Spain regrets and hopes that Algeria will want to redevelop this relationship they once shared. Venezuela and Algeria as part of a new map of cooperation for both countries' prosperity. President Tebboune said that direct flights between Algeria cooperation.
Now let's get down to the Democratic Republic of Congo, where the six-day trip of Belgian monarch King Philip kicked off in Kinshasa, where his speech he apologized to the Congolese for the treatment they were given during their colonial days. Let's get the details with you, Nota Bianche.
During his speech on this first official Belgian gave, the Congolese was unjustifiable and he sought for forgiveness.
On the occasion of my first trip to the Congo, right here, in front of the Congolese people and those who today are still suffering, I wish to reaffirm my deepest regrets for these past wounds.
pour ces blessures du passé.
Although many Belgians were sincerely committed to loving the Congo and its people deeply, the colonial regime as such was based on exploitation and domination. This regime was that of an unequal relationship, in itself unjustifiable, marked by paternalism, discrimination.
Congo's independence, when Congolese President Félix Tshisekedi received the Belgian government delegation in Kinshasa. A visit rich in diplomatic reconciliation as King Philip stretched arms of reconciliation began with the return of the lone thoughts of nationalist Patrice Lumumba. After Kinshasa, the 6 days royal tour in Democratic Republic of Congo will continue to Lubumbashi and Bukavu. This visit, according to Félix Tshisekedi, the Congolese president, aims at...
And I have always said this, the gateway to Europe, I'm talking about diplomatic and political Europe, business Europe, is Belgium. To the Democratic Republic of Congo, the whole of Europe will follow. Military cooperation has resumed with Belgium, but obviously it is up to Belgium to see what more it can bring, because our ambition is to increase the strength of our defense and security forces to be a sufficient deterrent.
Indeed, there is a time for war. Democratic Republic of Congo. We stay in the Democratic Republic of Congo this time around to talk to the population, whereby, according to them, the visit of the Belgian monarch makes no impact by Nota Bianche.
The Belgian monarch, King Philip, is visiting Democratic Republic of Congo, and this has been viewed as a means of reconciliation and amendment for the atrocities committed by the...
For the blunders that the Congolese lived through during the colonial era.
Is to return the last suit of the nationalist Patrice Lumumba, baptized a hero to independence and the first prime minister of the independent Congo, who was murdered in 1961 by Belgian mercenaries.
For me, the visit of the Belgian king carries great importance, because in these times Africa is beginning to recover its treasures plundered during the colonization.
Take care of what's important to the Congolese, instead of creating useless expense by inviting the royal couple. We have important things to say.
While some are also expecting much from the Belgian monarch, who expressed his apologies to the Democratic Republic of Congo.
As a Congolese, I can say, welcome to the Democratic Republic of Congo, Your Majesty. The simple regret that you have expressed is not enough. It's him to bring back the remains of Patrice Lumumba as promised. That is our expectation, our real expectation.
In 2020, President Félix Tshisekedi received the Belgian government delegation in Kinshasa as part of the preparation for the arrival of King Philip's trip. From Kinshasa, he will continue to Lubumbashi and Bukavu. History has it that millions of people were killed during Belgian rule in Democratic Republic of Congo.
Now, from the Democratic Republic of Congo, we go over to Kenya, where we are told that over 250,000 ghost voters have been uncovered on the electoral list. This is prior to the national elections to hold in a month's time. It is a campaign launched by the electoral body of Kenya. The details with you, Nota Bianche.
Governing body, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, opens an audit of the voters' roll. 500,000 more voters who were discovered having duplicate records, with over 200,000 using documents which do not belong to them. Others made use of illegal documents. The initial date for the publication of the register of voters was to be on or before June 9, but the commission rescheduled for June 20. Electoral irregularities have been cleared to run. That is David More, George Wajakoja, Raila Odinga and William Ruto.
Now in Cameroon, one of those big stories animating a beloved country is the ongoing war in the north and southwest regions of the Kamfe District Hospital, in which Dr. Manauda Malachi, Public Health Minister, has frowned at the attack of the government hospital. The details in the following report. It's rather unfortunate that both mentioned institutions have been abandoned all to themselves, as they have now been tipped target points ever since the socio-political tensions in the English regions escalated to an armed conflict. Time without number, schools have been attacked in both regions, as it was the case of the Mother Francisca College in Kumba in 2019, with over 7 lives claimed. It didn't just ended there. GBHS Ekondo Titi had its own share of the hit-and-run attack in schools, which saw 4 students and a teacher being killed. However, an attack on the district hospital of Kumba by suspected separatist elements with several units of the facility affected by the inferno left 4 persons dead in 2019. As if to say that wasn't enough, attention was turned to the church with sporadic attack and the defense forces before the arson attack has left many tongues wagging on how the incident happened, given that a control post is about 5 on who committed the atrocity. Public Health Minister Dr. Manauda Malachi, in a strong-worded letter, expressed his disappointment with the attack and thus called for calm in the Manu division, as all 45 patients of the hospital at the time of the incident were successfully transferred to the military hospital in Manfe. For God's sake, the casualties have been too many for the over 6 years now, which they space in their heart for the sake of posterity. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, that report puts a wrap to today's English Primetime Newscast on For You Television. I want to thank you all immensely for being there for us throughout this week. God willing, I shall be here again as from Venezuela, and goodbye from Djibouti in the Horn of Africa. God bless Motherland Africa. Bye-bye.